Um, well, I mean, 6 years. 6 years is a long time. The big changes would be really to wrap my mind about, super match format, and just, continued years of training. Like, I've been on a table a lot in the last 6 years. Not just competing, but practicing. I practice a lot. So my training has probably changed a bit, but I think that I've really embraced, the super match format. And when I pulled Taurus, this was my very first international, super match. 6 rounds, 2 minutes break between rounds. This is my first time, and I remember, when I did that, I was like, wow, this is totally different. This is a completely different thing to conquer. It's not, if you want to be in tournament shape and be a tournament arm wrestler, it's completely different than, mastering super match format. It takes a different type of training, a different type of approach. And I think that I've really, wrapped my mind around that the last 6 years. I have no contract. I'm a free agent. No, I got nothing. There's no contracts binding me to do anything.
So no one can say that you're his player, yeah?
There is none of that. There's no players. There's just me looking to arm wrestle as much as I can.
Okay.
How I train every day, I mean, it's changing. I have a lot of things to think about. I have my health. I have my arm wrestling. I have injuries. I have upcoming events to peak for. I have to think that I want to do this when I'm 60, because I do. I don't want to, be very strong for the next 3 years and then not have my game to play anymore. My training has a lot of table time in it. This is my hardest training. My body breaks the most when I practice with my club. Everything else really is about fixing what I've broken. Rehab. I do some. I shouldn't say that. It's really always changing. If you ask me today, I can tell you, and I'll try and believe what I'm telling you. But ask me 2 weeks, and it will be something different. I experiment with everything. Actually, I made sure that I was really fresh. I think special for this fight, I gave myself good rest. I really felt the key to beating him was to come this way with him. So I focused on this a lot in my trainings for the last month, not really to force this way so much. I thought that the best way to spin out with him. So in my table trainings, I focused on this move quite a lot. My sparring partners, the High Hookers. Ottawa High Hookers, greatest team in the world. John Milne, Ian Carnegie, Eric Grisend, Don Smith. I mean, the list goes on. Alan Ford. We have a lot of guys. Guys who are coming out to train all the time. I think that we have a lot of guys on the team who are really, really pulling very well. Good arm wrestlers. And yeah, we take care of each other. We give each other what we need. My next opponent, I really would like to face the highest ranked guy. I think that should really be the way you should always try and aim for championship matches. Number 1 faces number 2. I think that when you look at it simply, that should be the way, the best choice. Best choice for me is the number 2 ranked guy. If he's not available, the number 3, and it goes down from there. But I feel like, you know, not just for me wanting to face the best guy, but I feel like, you know, for the number 2 guy, he's probably the most deserving. So I know that there's an argument that maybe this guy can give me a better match or this guy, but I do feel that this is the best way that things should go. So I think that the summer will tell a lot. You know, it will tell a lot who my next opponent will be. There's some big stuff coming up. A1. You know, there's some big matches coming up in September. I think the outcomes of these results, I think that'll tell who my next guy is going to be. No, right now, I mean, I have an idea. I mean, I know who the top guys are, and really, I mean, it's a lot different, you know, when you're number 1 than when you're coming up. You know, when you're coming up, you can see that guy ahead of you, and you're getting ready for him, or it's him. When you're on the top, you know, I have to be ready for basically any one of those guys. So I know who they all are, and I kind of have to stay balanced. My right hand, 3 weeks ago, I had a really, really rough match with Tim. You know, I barely scraped through. A hard match for me. My right elbow, I am not sure exactly which way I'm going to go. The next couple weeks, I should have a lot of answers on what my right elbow is really going to do. I mean, like a lot of arm wrestlers, you know, that's it, you know. And that's just from years and years of the joint being destroyed, rebuilt, destroyed, rebuilt. I have arthritis, I got bone chunks, you know, nothing that, you know, 90% of arm wrestlers, you know, have. And it's a question of, do I manage it? You know, do I say, okay, you're not touching me, and I'll do physio for a while and just go back into the re-strengthening, rebuilding process, you know, the way that we always normally do? Or am I going to say, okay, cut me open and take some of that stuff out and then rehab, rebuild? And I don't know, that's a hard decision for me, a decision I'm very, very unhappy about. But I'm gonna probably make it within the next 3 weeks. So that will, you know, give me some better idea on what the right hand future is. That's absolutely a possibility. At this moment, I've canceled my right hand matches in September. I was due to arm wrestle, and you guys asked me to arm wrestle Arson today, and I declined. And I was asked to arm wrestle Michael Todd in September, which I declined. At this point, I need to do some assessment. I have all the appointments in line. Once I know, okay, which way I'm going to go, then you may see me, you may not, you know. I need to, but I can't, at this point, I cannot commit to anything until I know which way I'm going to go, because the rehab time is either going to be shorter or it's going to be longer. If they do a surgery on my arm, I may have a year-long rehab, you know, at which point I would fully expect, you know, that I'm, you know, off the rankings and I have to, you know, make my way back up, which could be cool too. Or if it's not a surgery, then it's just standard, you know, rebuild it and I'll be ready to compete, you know, probably by the fall, you know. But at this point, I have not committed to anything because I'm unsure what all the results are going to be.